Welcome to the Popish Plot. I'm Nate.
I'm Jessica.
Still Mike.
And we're back with the follow-up second half of lesser-known March Saints.
It's been so long. But we pick up right where we were.
Yep. So we're on to the 16th.
Dun, 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 dun.
Saint Julian of Antioch.
Ooh.
Martyred by being sewn into a bag of vipers and scorpions and thrown into the sea. You know?
That's a horrible death, but that's an awesome one fact.
That
Sewn into a bag of vipers.
I mean,
that is a horrible death, but it's one of those martyrdoms where, like, once a person knows about it, like, they know about it. You know what I mean?
You'll never forget that.
How many people were
don't remember-
beheaded or you know, crucified upside down? Or, there were a lot of ways that people had for killing off Christians, and that one is
Sewn into a bag of vipers and scorpions.
and then tossed into the sea to drown.
yeah, that's one. I'm not sure if it's a girl Julian or a boy Julian, because at the time that was a name that worked either way.
Yeah,
But
Julian of Norwich.
But I totally can see some, kid in ninth grade who's a boy who's like, that sounds metal as all get out.
That
That's
is
my
so
favorite.
metal.
Oh, yeah. Who's your saint? Julian of Antioch.
What happened to them?
Well, I gotta imagine that, like us, Julian enjoyed calling people broods of vipers, and that's what inspired them. So just be careful.
All right.
You brood
Next.
of vipers.
Next, we have one that technically people have heard of, but it's not the one that people have heard of the most for today.
Dun 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 dun.
We have Saint Gertrude of Nivelles, who is not the one known as the Great.
Yes.
She was an abbess, a mystic, and her patronage is of cats and against mice, for travelers, gardeners, and mental illness.
Of cats, against mice, and mental illness, to me, those all fit together. Mm-hmm. Travel?
Well, I mean, she
Some
was a
cats travel
mystic,
well.
so
Gardening is a good self-care type of a hobby.
Yes, it is.
Well, it was. She ran an abbey, so of course at first it was that I don't like all these mice here, and then it kind of translated to how do you get rid of mice? You have cats.
Plus, the gardening Benedictines ora et labora. You got to do that labora. Mm-hmm. On the 18th of March, we've got Saint Humphrey, a.k.a. Hunfrid, a monk, bishop, and abbot in France. Mm-hmm. Oh,
France. I like the way you say that.
France.
On the 19th,
New York City.
we have Saint John, the Syrian of Pinna.
Not to be confused
Not
with...
to be confused with Saint John of the Cross.
Or Saint John, the Syrian of Yonkers.
Yes, exactly.
There's a lot of descriptors there.
He was a hermit, and according to legend, was seen sitting under a tree in full bloom during the winter.
That's impressive.
It really depends on where you are, though, as there are parts of the world where the winter and the summer are
Yeah,
not
but it's in bloom, so it's not just that it's it's alive because it's a mild winter.
No, it's bloom.
It's one of those ones where someone was traveling and they saw this and they at the time and place they assumed it was a miracle. So I'm gonna take the geography into effect and say that's probably
It made its way into a legend.
Yeah.
That indicates it's not commonplace.
That's fair.
We'd have to know where Pinna is. Next, continuing a theme from other months, we've got Saint Anastasius XVI, a martyr, an archimandrite, head of a large monastery or a group of monasteries in Jerusalem. Nice. I mean, sorry about the martyrdom, but so many Anastasiuses.
Well, depending on when he was living, given that he was in Jerusalem, it may have been a foregone conclusion that there have been numerous times when being a vocal Christian in those parts were
I mean,
it was not the most self-preservation.
I don't know the time, but given how he was the head of either a really big monastery
Or several,
it could have been one of those times when back and forth in the Crusade era.
Yeah.
or in the Byzantine era when there was the Sasanian conquest before the Muslim conquest. Yeah. Regardless, he was martyred. Saint Anastasius, all the Anastasi, pray for us.
Yes. On the 21st, we have Saint Birillus, who is a bishop ordained by Saint Peter.
Nice.
And because we're not doing the most famous ones.
Nope, obscure.
We don't have Saint Patrick, So I found one who's related to St. Patrick for the 22nd.
On March 22nd, we've got Saint Darerca of Ireland, sister of St. Patrick, said to have 15 sons, 10 of whom became bishops of Ireland. Wow. That's impressive. Oh no, but it's great because there's his slave owner's been sainted. There's his charioteer.
I think it was martyred. Was it the slave owner's son, or both?
I think it was the son. You're right. Mm-hmm. But no, lots of people associate with St. Patrick, including his sister, and wow, 10 nephews who became bishops of Ireland.
Yes, and because I don't have a lot
Nepotism.
of details, I don't know if it was, the other 5 became bishops of other countries.
They stayed in England, yeah.
Or if it was, the other 5 didn't make it into adulthood because that's about the odds back then.
Or they just became monks.
Yes. You slacker, you only became a monk in England. Look at your brother, and brother.
But I can levitate in prayer. Ooh, you can levitate in prayer.
I had a successful job and a wife and 12 children.
Yeah, well, I'm bishop of some place in Ireland that you can't pronounce. Yeah. On the 23rd,
Saint Rafka.
Nice.
Also known as Rafka. Also known as Rebecca.
Huh.
Also known as Butrusia.
Yeah, that was like her original...
Butrosia, yeah.
I believe, baptismal name, and then, like, her middle name or something was Rafka, and then when she became a nun, that's what she was known as.
Took the religious name.
I can see how Rafka would lead to Rebecca.
Yeah. She was a Lebanese Maronite Rite nun. And
this is another one that, if you watch us locally, is kind of not fair, because we've been to St. Rafka's Parish.
This is Michigan.
It's down in Detroit area. It is, as you expect, a Maronite Rite. And their screen person is on point.
On point.
In 2 languages. It was half in Arabic, half in English.
Very impressive.
Yeah.
No, this is Michigan. We have the largest Arab population outside of the Middle East, including a huge number of Christians. Mm-hmm. Next, on March 24th, we've got Saint Pigmenius. Nice. A priest who was thrown into the Tiber by the order of Emperor Julian the Apostate, who was a jerk.
And I'm assuming an apostate.
He was. Pigmenius. I like it.
I think Jess can get this one.
All right. On the 25th, we have...
Be brave.
Blessed James Bird. He's an English martyr who was a convert to the faith.
Probably in the bad Elizabethan or
yeah, it was
Stuart times. But you're so brave.
I know.
James Bird. Next, we've got St. Peter. Nope, not that one. Who was martyred with Cassian, Marcion, Thecla, and Joannes. All those. That's St. Peter. Not that St. Peter. On March 26th.
On the 27th, St. Matthew of Beauvais, which, based on our previous French-sounding name, I would assume, but it would probably be wrong in presuming that they were a Korean, given that they were a prisoner during the war during the First Crusade and were martyred.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they probably have a French name because they're French.
Yeah.
Or in an area that we would generally consider, connected to France now,
Matthew. On March 28th, you've got Saint Alkeld, a.k.a. Saint Athilda.
Who fits our criteria perfectly, because we have another one where what we know about them is we don't know really anything, but this is what we got.
Nothing is known about her life, besides that in paintings, she's shown being strangled by Danish invaders, a.k.a. Vikings. That's all we got.
Yeah. The next 2 days get a little fun. On the 29th.
Not Methodius level fun, but still fun.
On the 29th.
Can't really beat the Methodii.
We have Saint Pastor. I wonder if he was a pastor.
One would hope.
I would hope so.
Who was martyred in Nicomedia.
But then
on the 30th, just in case you missed it.
There's an echo.
We have Saint Pastor.
The Bishop of Orléans, France.
We know nothing about him besides he's not the same Saint Pastor as yesterday's Saint Pastor.
We're confident of this.
We know one thing about the bishop. We know he was the Bishop of France, not the guy from the day before.
We know 2 things about each of them. We know one thing, and that they're not each other. And then, rounding out the month, March the 31st, we've got Saint Guy of Pomposa, a hermit on an island in the Po River, and later an abbot. Nice. It's fun to say Pomposa.
All
I just
you,
like that it's, some guy.
Some guy.
all you holy men and
That's the
women.
same guy.
All you holy men and women. Pray for us.
Well, it's fascinating because, like, we've got Guy, which comes from French, but it comes from the Italian, Guido or Guido, which, if you look at the spelling, it means guide. Someone who can guide you through life. It's a good saint name.
Yeah.
So, comment below with even more obscure saints for March.
Or, saints that you have a particular, devotion to.
If you want to play a bet, are there more Modesti or more Anastasiuses?
That's...
I mean, it's going to be hard because one is numbered, and the other one, they just list them with who they're with.
Yeah.
Well, that's really the question is, how many of them didn't get numbered?
That is interesting. Why are all the Anastasiuses numbered? Because it's not like it's like one line of bishops or something.
No.
From all over the place.
No, it's not like when you get a number and they were Pope, where it's like, of course, that's what number they were in the name for Pope.
Except for Martin. That's just a mess.
Go down below, hit the like button, the subscribe, the bell next to it to get notified when we have new episodes coming out. Like Mike said, leave comments down below because we love your comments. We do not love your books.
If you want books, send them to thepopishplot@gmail.com.
That's right.
Don't put it in the comments.
And until next time, remember to live your faith.
Love your faith.
Share that love.